Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Well, not yet.
Almost Happy New
Almost.
Year. Well, it's hard to believe it, but it's been December. This has been the fastest year ever.
Yeah. Well,
in some ways.
Chronologically, apparently it's been like the others, but it feels fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it just January, like yesterday or something?
Almost like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up at the end of the year, and I think it's been an interesting and good experiment to do these videos over the course of this year. And as we come up at the end of this year, we thought we wanted to spend a few moments today just talking with you guys about the reality of utilizing Sunday mornings as a tool to connect people with community groups, either your own community group or another community group. So the reality is that over the last, at least the last 4 years that I've been in my role, we average at least 5 or 6 people that are visiting Santa Cruz Bible for the first time on any given Sunday. And so not just myself, but amongst between all the staff and then all of the community group leaders, there's a high percentage that if we are aware and engaged and intentional on a Sunday morning, we can connect and engage with those people and invite them into community.
Yeah, I think we need to step back and actually look at a couple of things that are really important. One is to know that even in the day in which we live, and this isn't just Santa Cruz or Santa Cruz Bible, this is national trends that we're seeing over and over due to a lot of different factors. People that do attend church, even that would call themselves a committed church attender, are attending church less frequently. They're attending I think the average now is 1.2 times a month.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go 0.2 times, but it's how the average is. So
I showed up in my car and then left.
Yeah. So that means, one, even regular committed people are coming less frequently. But guests are coming consistently. We actually, last year, we had over 200 people visited our church for the first time in 2018. That's a lot of people. And we also know that if they don't connect into community relatively soon, they could love the worship, they could love the message, they could love the people and feel like it was great and welcoming. And we hear all those things. We hear that people have a positive experience in all those ways. But we just know that if they don't connect into a next step of community beyond a Sunday morning, they won't last long. They won't stick around. And so put those two things together. If people are coming less often, and if they aren't connected in a community, one, that they're missing even connections with God's people altogether.
Yeah.
But also, it's critical for us as a church that our small groups, our community groups, need to become increasingly strengthened, and that kind of critical place where you are known, where you can know others, where you're not just anonymous and invisible, but where you are. This is your family. This is where people would say, "This is my church family." Yeah. So people, we need to, one, make that such a high priority ourselves as leaders, but also our church, that community groups are essential. And you're going to hear us talk about that more and more up front.
Yeah.
But then also we need to help people that aren't connected into community get connected. Our goal, just to be clear, we want everyone that calls Santa Cruz Bible Church their church home to be in an intentional group beyond Sunday morning, an intentional community group, some group that is very intentionally meeting for the purpose of growing spiritually, building relationships, and being on mission.
Yeah, and so there's a lot that we have already kind of on the burner for this next year that we're working on already to do that. And so some of that is on us as the staff, as the pastors of Santa Cruz Bible Church. And so you're going to be seeing some of that stuff rolling out over the next few months. But a huge part of it is you guys, because think about it from the perspective of a new person that's coming in. Right now, the way that a new person would connect with a group is either through the website, or by filling out a communication card on a Sunday morning. Those are the two avenues. And then I'm usually the one giving them a call. But think about it. If you're a new person, if you don't, let's say don't have much of a church or a faith background, you get a call from someone that says they're a pastor at Santa Cruz Bible Church out of the blue, that might be intimidating. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, out of the people I call that turn in a communication card on Sundays that say that they're interested in a community group, I maybe get a response from 1 out of 10, if that. But on Sundays, one of the things that I've tried to do, and some of you have done really well at this, Tyson Maeda does a great job, he and Katie on Sundays as well, and some others of you. But I'm constantly scanning, particularly for younger families that are new to church that I haven't seen before, and I try to connect with them and just let them know, hey, we're so glad you're here, and the life of our church happens in groups, and we would love to get you connected in, and I tell them that, my wife and I, we have a group that meets in SoCal on Thursday nights. It's very kid-friendly. There's some other groups, but just that friendly face, someone that seems somewhat normal, I think lowers the barrier to getting involved and getting connected. And so if it's not just a few of us, right now I think it's a few of us, but if we all get in that game and we all, when we show up on Sunday mornings, have that mindset of looking to connect with people that are newer or even people that have been here for years and years but haven't connected in with a group. Sometimes all it takes is that friendly face, someone that seems normal, someone that seems relatable, saying, hey, are you connected to a group? Would you like to come check out mine?
Yeah. I think what's key is to be clear that we're not asking you to become somebody other than you are.
Yeah. I
think sometimes people feel like, well, if I'm not this really extroverted, walk up to strangers and start a conversation, that feels like that's not me. I can't do that. But God uses all kinds of people. I'm the kind of person that can, I'm wired in such a way that I don't mind walking up to somebody and initiating a conversation. But in some ways, because of my role here, people expect me to do that. They expect the pastors or the staff to do it. But when people, whoever is in the church just comes up, and so don't feel like you have to be other than who you are. Mm-hmm. Be the personality, be the person but be intentional. That's all it is. Be intentional when you come. So if I could suggest a couple of things. One is making Sunday morning attendance in our worship gatherings a priority yourself. Mm-hmm. Let's not be that. Let's defy those statistics of the 1.2 times a month. And yes, I understand things come up, but let's make it a priority. But come with intention. So maybe in your car on the way to church, or even before you leave your house to come to church, to just pray, God, not only do you have something for me to hear today, to be here today, but there are people that you are going to want my path to cross today. And then come expectant, looking, I'm going to see somebody here. And what would be some clues? Well, look for people sitting by themselves. Look for people that aren't already engaged. Look for people that you don't know. Mm-hmm. And maybe you think, well, what if they look familiar, so I think there's that thing that happens. So they look familiar. I'm sure they've been here a long time. They don't need me. And so, one, if you don't know them, but just what an opportunity to just say, introduce yourself, and get to know a little bit about them, and just maybe and then just be curious. I think that's where relationships kind of move past that initial awkward phase, is to just be curious about them. How long have you been at Santa Cruz Bible, or are you new? What have you found helpful about here? Are you connect? And again, do you have like Scott said, you could say, are you in a group, or where have you found meaningful connections here? Just kind of asking questions.
Yeah. And I think this is valuable. A number of you I know from coaching meetings, you feel like your groups are full, and you're not necessarily looking to add more people to your groups at this particular point in time. But my challenge to you guys, those of you that have full groups, would just be to say, either one, you can be a tool that God can use to help get people connected into other groups. There are other groups that are looking to grow and add people. And you can be a tool to help funnel people and connect people into some of those groups. Or, even God might want might be inviting your group to go through the process of multiplying, to see more people come into your group, and for it actually to be so full that you would need to multiply into 2 groups in order to increase your influence and allow opportunities for more people to connect. And those of you that are looking for to grow your groups, this is one of the best ways to do it. I know that it's nice to have a pastor or someone on staff email you a name and say, hey, here's someone that is ready to go, follow up with them. And we're going to continue to do that. But honestly, one of the best ways is to just make yourself available, be an unofficial or maybe even an official greeter on Sunday mornings, and just look for those people, because I know I'm out there in the courtyard pretty much week in and week out, and by this point I can pretty much tell right off the bat if someone's new. If I don't recognize them, or if someone walks on campus and they have that certain way about them that they're not quite sure where to go, you can just kind of spot it right away. And it's a great way to just scoop right in. It's an awkward experience being in a new place, and just to have someone come and make that experience feel easier, and then it's a great opportunity to then just say, hey, we have a group, we meet throughout the week, and would love to connect with you and invite you into that experience as well. So, and I'll just use this as an opportunity too. I mean, Kim Brooks is always looking for people to help with kids. If you serve in kids, that is the best way by far to connect with young families. And we have a ton of young families coming and visiting us, especially now that things are getting stable in the kids ministry with Kim and with Emily. And so if you are looking for a place to connect with younger families and to invite them into community, being a greeter in kids ministry, or maybe even being one of the Sunday school teachers, is an amazing way to do that. I mean, I have great conversations every time I'm over there greeting in the kids building. So
I think the last thing I would add is, we're not here to make a sales pitch to people. We're here because we know that all of us need a place to belong, and a sense of belonging with people that know, like we've said, that know us, that love us, that are willing to walk with us. And so our goal isn't just like, I want to recruit you to get in this group or get in my group, so that we can have lots of full groups. It would be my encouragement would be to tell your story of share what is it about your group? What is it about for you? Maybe you were in a place at one time with that you were reluctant to be in a group. I know, I didn't want to join something. I wasn't sure. I was tentative. Or what have you found in a group, a setting that has been life-giving, that's been meaningful to you? Just share from your own experience. And that's just I think that's the most honest and authentic thing we can do. I want you to experience what I've experienced in my group, and whether it's in your group that you're inviting them into, or I want you to have this kind of journey yourself.
Yeah, because we're not pushing something that they don't want. As beings that are created in God's image, if our God exists in a community of the 3 persons of the Trinity, and we're made in His image, then there is something inbuilt in us as human beings that longs for that kind of relationality and connection and community. And that's why we do small groups. It's not just a pragmatic way to close the back door of the church or any of those kinds of things that people talk about. It can do those things, but primarily it's a way to live out our identity as image bearers of God in community. And so, as we're approaching people, sometimes people don't necessarily realize that longing yet, but deep down that longing is there. And so we're not asking people to do something that they don't already want to do. So, all right. Well, one last thing along those lines is that we are, just as a heads up for you guys, we're going to be redoing the groups page on our website. So right now it's a list. And the feedback we've gotten is that it can be helpful, but it's very just kind of dry and generic. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be sprucing up that groups page. One of the things we want to have is a picture of each group leader.
You're beautiful.
Your mugshot on our website, along with just a little blurb about your group, so that people that are new to Santa Cruz Bible, that are checking out the website, they can see your smiling faces there and go, oh, that's a lovely person that I would love to connect with, and that sounds interesting to me. So anyway, over the course of the next few weeks, on Sunday mornings, I'm going to be taking pictures of you guys. So come find me on Sunday morning, or I will create appointments to connect with you guys. We're going to be taking your photos, and hopefully by January have that up on the webpage. So just as a heads up for you guys, and you will probably be getting a call or an email from Carol Davidson asking for that blurb as well. So I'm gonna down below this video. Look for a little sample of what that could look like, but just a quick write-up to let people know this is what our group is and what we're about and what we're studying. So
That sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, enjoy your Christmas season. Stay present to Jesus and His work in the midst of all the craziness, and we will see you back in January.
Merry Advent and Christmas and New Year.